Hunter, what's up, my friend?
Oh, nothing, Cody. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Got bundled up here in my robe, got me a glass of water, and just here to have some fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, man. When I was a kid, I had robes, but as an adult, I bought my first one a few weeks back. One best investment I made in a long time. It's great because you can literally feel like you're wearing a dress, but you're covered and it's acceptable in your house.
See, every time I think of somebody wearing a robe, I think of Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
I mean, Mine's mine's a lush robe.
Oh,
I paid like
oh,
25 or
it's
$30
highfalutin.
for it. Well, I got it at Target, but it's really good.
Again, highfalutin.
I will say, robes great in the house, great around the pool, great to take on vacation with you. Not okay to wear in public.
Not even really okay to wear outside like your front door. Like if you wear your robe out to get the paper, you know.
Well, I think it depends on your age. If you're like a dad, it's okay, but you have to have like a cup of coffee with you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's kind of
I
the
think. Oh, go ahead.
it's kind of the stigma of I just woke up.
Well, I think as long as you don't go past your mailbox, and as long as your mailbox is within like eyesight of your door, it's okay.
That's true. Within like if you're talking in terms of like boundaries, within the boundary of the mailbox, normal Saturday morning. Outside the boundary of the mailbox, you're an escaped mental patient.
Yeah, like, and I mean mailbox at your house, not like going to the PO box. Not okay.
Again,
Not
escaped
okay.
mental patient.
Especially not okay if you don't wear anything under it. That's like double not okay. Not okay
start
squared.
start running and end up scarring a bunch of poor people.
I mean, you can, man, because if you don't tie that inner string there, you just be sitting there, and next thing you know, your whole chest is hanging out, and it's like I'm almost naked right now. So, you, yeah, you gotta be careful with these, man. These are a double edged sword. Gotta be careful with these robes. Which gets me on something else. Can you explain to me people that wear like Cookie Monster pajama pants to the store? Because
No,
I have yet to figure that one out.
no, I don't really understand that one either. I also don't understand people that wear pajama pants on airplanes.
Yeah, like they're on a pair of sweatpants. Like they sit in a bed. You know, you can be comfortable. That's fine. Throw you on some sweatpants. Just
I
my
just,
take.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really
Next time I
understand it.
next time I fly, I'm gonna bring my robe, and then I'm gonna go in there and change like I'm in first class, but it's just gonna be like in 3A. Nothing on under it, just my robe.
You're just sitting there with your bubble pipe.
I don't think that'd be allowed, but
I wonder
yeah,
what the paws are doing this evening. We will soar with the eagles.
dude, you're in economy.
I still soar.
In my mind, blows bubbles. Yeah, man. How's your leg doing?
Good. I had a little bit of a rough day last week. I had a double whammy. I had a blister pop on my bad foot, and then my good leg cramped up. And so, really, really late at night on Thursday, I texted my boss, and I was like, can I please work remote tomorrow because I am dying?" He was really
No.
understanding, and he was like, "Of course, it's fine." So I worked remote on Friday and got a little extra rest this weekend, and I'm able to walk around now. I take the crutch with me when I'm at work, but I barely touch it to the ground. I just kind of stick it out as like a catch just in case I stumble. But
Sure.
I'm able to walk around without using the crutch. I just kind of carry it with me now.
I think that in non like manufacturing places, I think that the more remote style of working is going to become just a permanent part now because this last year just proved it could be done. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no reason if you're like in an office job and you can you can connect to the server or whatever. I mean, honestly, if you're getting your work done in a timely manner, I you know, why not let people stay at home? I mean, it just I think that you're going to see that become a part now. I mean, I know it kind of was beforehand in higher up positions, but I think you're going to see that become more of a prevalent thing as the new generation comes up into the workforce as part of negotiating, contracts, especially people who are like, those sought after by big companies and whatnot. That's going to become a more and more popular thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wish I
I
could
bet
work
you're right.
remote.
I mean, it's nice, but I like that I can, like, when I work remote, I like that I can, step away and like start a load of laundry, while
Yeah.
something's like, if I'm pulling up a file and it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to load, in that time I can start a load of laundry. That's been great. I really like the multitask ability of it, but
Mm-hmm.
with what I do, you kind of are best being there, in house, actually like talking to people.
Well,
So
sure. I mean, that's how it's gonna be. It's always gonna be the best option, but I think that hybrid work style where it's like, you know, 2 days a week you can work remote if you want to, something like that. I think
mhm.
that's going to get start getting built into contracts because one, I think it makes people happier because, like you said, now instead of me getting home at 5:15 or 5:30, and then I have to start on my chores for the evening, and then by the time I get done with that and dinner and whatnot, it's like, geez, it's time for bed now. You can, as you're doing that, throw a load of laundry in. When you get something done, you got 10 minutes until a meeting, you can go and do the dishes, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think it'll be a positive all the way around.
it definitely makes me feel like I get more done for sure. Like I, what, like you, when I get home, I'm like, like I'm just ready to not.
Oh, I hate doing stuff whenever I get home. Like, I'm in an office a whole lot, but I'm still out in the plants. I'm still, walking several miles a day at work. I'm uh have in and out, upstairs, downstairs, working on machines, doing trainings, things like that. And dude, it just gets exhausting sometimes. And when you get home, it's like, oh, well, we have laundry falling out of the hamper and
Yeah.
and stuff in the floor and the dog just got into the paper basket and things like that. It's you don't ever want to do anything and then mom's going to sit down
Yeah.
for 10 minutes before I start to work and then you've been there for an hour and a half and well shoot, now it's time for dinner and to get ready for bed and do the next thing.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's the worst, man. I just
I
need a
like
job,
having
dude.
the what now?
I'd say I need a job where I just get paid to sit here.
Yeah. I mean, that would really make everything perfect, I think.
I always see those advertisements for like TV show. I mean, not all the time, but I've seen a few. It's like this company will pay you this much money to watch all the seasons of The Office. I'm like, yes, that is what career that I should have went after. I don't know what major you do for that, but that's what I want my job to be.
Yeah, I mean, I do that. I do that easy.
Oh well, maybe one day we'll be able to remote in, but today is not that day.
Yeah, I just think what I do is it'll work remote, but it's not suited for it. The optimum is not suited for
Oh,
it.
there's no way I could work remote. As much like trainings and like collaboration and going into the plants and things like that I do, zero chance that I could, I could ever negotiate that here at my job. But, oh well. Well, you you think your leg's about back to 100% ready for that marathon coming up?
Yeah, I don't really know quite about 100%, but we're getting there. There's some bad days for sure, but there's some good days too, and I'm improving. So I go back to the doctor in July, and I'm not quite sure when I'm done with PT, but I'm pretty sure it's sometime in July too. So um,
That's good, man. I'm glad.
and I reckon I'll be able to walk into the doctor this time unaided.
Yeah, walk in and be like, look what you did.
Look, you did it.
Very good, Doc.
Here's a gold star.
So I got to ask you, how much did you enjoy the episode last week?
I enjoyed it a whole lot. I actually went back and listened to it, and as you know, we talked about it in the post show, and then actually in the group chat after the show aired. I was a little self conscious about some of my voices. I didn't think that they sounded good. But then listening back to it, it was really enjoyable to listen to. And normally, like I kind of wince when I hear myself, doing voices. It's funny for
Oh,
other
yeah.
people, but for yourself, it's always a little weird. But I actually laughed out loud several times, so it was a darn good episode. I really enjoyed it, and I kind of wish now that I would have run with some of the improv a little bit more because I think we could have really taken it up to 11. But we can have him back on and go again.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely have Duncan back on. I was editing the audio a couple days later, man, and I had to stop at certain points. I always listen through the entire thing, and I cut out some little dead spots where we pause and have to uh, we stutter whatnot. But I was listening to that, and I had to stop so many times because I was laughing so hard. But the spot that really, really got me was when you did your Joe Biden, and we both thought you meant Joe Swanson.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Like I was, and I kid you not, like when it started and like it really kind of just came out of nowhere when Duncan did the voice. I had to stop and I literally like clapped because I was laughing so hard. Like I went straight person from East Tennessee laughing at it, and it cracked me up just listening to you two banter back and forth, and then do, doing the Family Guy and the King of the Hill. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that was so funny. I went back and listened to it again, and I'd go back and listen to that little 3 or 4 minute segment several times, dude. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
It was very funny.
Peter.
I'm so I'm so proud of it. I think we talked about doing some sort of scripted something where we just have this nonsense time of uh, some little audio drama, and I think if we put some thought into it, we could really make something funny. So yeah, I was thoroughly pleased with how it all came out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It was great. We'll definitely have Duncan back on. It was just too good not to have him back on. I think I think in the future we might have to bring him back on when we do the what if Hillary had one bit,
Oh yeah,
because I think that he would flourish in that role.
absolutely.
But I hope you all liked that different style that we're trying to have, nonsense everywhere, something like that. We're trying to call it the world's full of nonsense, something like that, because it just goes to show you that, man, talking about that dude quitting his job over Power Rangers, it happens everywhere. So it's not just us. And
Yeah.
let me go ahead and say, since I haven't already, welcome, Sun Babies. Thank you all for listening. Since that's the that's the new fandom name.
Oh boy, I got a good
Oh
chuckle
boy.
out of that for real.
What was really funny, my cousin messaged me. I asked him when it went live, if he had listened to it yet, and he said he was like 10 minutes into it. And then I guess we had first started talking about Teletubbies, and then he sent me a picture of the Sun Baby from Teletubbies, and I said, "Oh, buddy, you're in for a treat." He was on it,
Oh,
man.
that's funny. See, it just works. It just works.
I don't want it to work, but it does.
It does work, and you can't argue with it.
I know.
It just works.
I think I'm getting vetoed on this one, but yeah, we'll have Duncan on again, and we're working to get some other people coming on in the future too. So, you'll hear from, like what you heard Duncan does. You'll hear from some of our other friends. There's actually a couple uh, local people around me that have some. They have some pretty popular YouTube channels that I'm going to try to get in touch with and see if they'd be willing to come on. It'd really just benefit us because we have not a huge following and they have millions of views on each episode. But I'm going to get in contact with some other people, and like I said, we'll have some friends that have different jobs. So this series is here to stay, folks. So hope you enjoyed that one and be ready for what's coming next.
Absolutely. I've already had a couple of people ask me if they could come on, and so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get them scheduled, and like I said, it won't be a every other week thing. You might have a few weeks in between, but uh, it'll be a running series at least until we run out of friends, and then it'll stop. But Hunter, I thought that for this episode we might go through and talk about some TV shows and some movies that we've been watching and things like that we like. Because I know way back in episode 2 or 3, I believe it was, we talked about a couple that we really enjoyed. But I thought it was a good time to give them their own little episode here and uh,
Absolutely.
let the people know what we like. So what are you watching right now?
Well, I don't want to delve into it too much because I'm not done with it yet, but I'm watching How I Met Your Mother for the first time right now. Um, I'm really enjoying it. I'm pretty sure I'm in season 7, so I'm getting pretty close to the end. But yeah, I really like it. I like programs like that. Like I really liked The Office, and so did Bree. And then when we started dating, she was like, "You got to watch New Girl," and so I watched New Girl. And then a little bit ago, she said, "You got to watch How I Met Your Mother," and I'm liking it too. So her recommendations are always on point for TV shows, and so I really like that one right now. Um, she also
Who's the
had me
mother?
watch. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. I'll tell you what. Golly, that Ted, he's a talker. He'll go on and on and on. So
Yeah, I haven't watched that one all the way through. I've seen it like on TV. I like the humor in it. I'm a big fan of dry humor, so
yeah,
it's something that I watch, and I'm sure one day I'll get to it. I've got an ever increasing list and no time to watch them all, but How I Met Your Mother is one of those that I think the general consensus is that it was a good show, and I mean I've met a couple people who didn't like it, but the vast majority they all like it, and I think that just proves that dry humor is the best humor.
yeah, I agree.
Well, I just started. I know I'm late, but I just started The Mandalorian, watching through it, and the first episode, banger, loved it.
Yeah,
All sorts of action in it. I'm the type of person that when I watch movies for the first time, now second time and third time I'll go through and shows it's different, but the first time I watch something through, I just enjoy it. I try not to like delve too deep into connections and this and that. I'm a big fan of action, explosions, or dry humor, that sort of thing. So, just strictly from a creative standpoint, love the first episode. Tons of action, easy to follow, and it was funny. Caroline watched it with me, and literally both of us watched it for the first time. And like 8 minutes into it, she's like, "Who's that?" I said, "Caroline, you've literally watched as much as this as I have. I literally don't know any more than you do."
yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I'm excited for it, and I'm sure that whenever a free weekend rolls around or something like that, I'll undoubtedly binge it and just not tell Caroline, and then go back to the spot where we were together.
I'll tell you what. I have been through The Mandalorian probably 4 times
Jeez.
because I'll go back and watch. Like there's when when it was airing, I would watch it while I was at work, and then I'd come home and watch it again when Bree and I both got home. So, and then I went back and watched it through again, and then I'm pretty sure I went back a fourth time. So I definitely have seen it 3 times through, maybe four, and yeah, it's darn good. It's super good. I'm excited for you to get to current with the last episode of season 2. I'm We can talk about that when you get done with it.
Sure.
But boy, what a show!
It's a good one, man. I think the one that we've watched the most in the recent in our recent history is we went back and watched Gossip Girl.
Mm.
Yeah, it's at first I wasn't sure I'd like it because I mean it's just kind of a high school girly thing, but in the later seasons it got really good. It's good now. We're halfway through the next to last season, so it's good. But up to that point, it had aged really well. Like obviously the drama and stuff and bullying, it's not as big a thing now as it was, I guess, whenever the show came out. But the references were good. Everything had aged well. And then it got to a part where one of the main characters, he wrote a book, and it hugely popular on the show. And they were already talking about a screenplay for it, making it a movie. And his agent calls and she's like, yeah, you can't give this to your friend right away. I have Harvey Weinstein on the phone and he's really interested in it. And I said, there it went. That part did well.
That aged like milk.
Yeah, it wasn't a good scene, but I guess if you can make it through 5.5 or 6.5 seasons, whatever it was, without having a bad point, then you've done pretty well. But when it happened, Caroline and I both looked at each other and we just made a grimace face. I was like, no. No, you should have edited that out or something.
Please, no, please.
Plus, no. But overall, it's been a good show. We watched that, and Caroline, as you all know, is a big Disney buff, so we've been watching High School Musical, the series.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of halfway knew that was a thing, but
I'll say this. The show, if I didn't watch it, my feelings wouldn't be hurt, but it's nice to see a show where there are high school aged kids playing high schoolers. It doesn't have
nice.
like the 25-year-old playing a high school senior.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, I don't like that at all.
That's one good thing I've liked with the new kind of movement of shows. Like they get people who look like they should be playing parts like that. You don't have all these just like supermodels playing high schoolers and these just overly athletic jocks and things like that. Like the show, everybody in it looks like a high schooler, and
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
The casts are age appropriate now, which is nice, and it makes me feel a little bit better when I'm watching it, because there's nothing, and you know this because we talked about, you haven't seen it yet, but Invincible, the TV show, there's nothing that bothers me more when there's like an inconsistency between the age the characters are supposed to be and like their actions and the things they say and the way they act. Like that just drives me nuts. Like, don't tell me this person is a high schooler and then give them dialogue and troubles and character growth of like a 35-year-old. It pulls me out of it.
Yeah, like in that show, one of the main characters, he's dealing with his parents getting a divorce, and his girlfriend got accepted to a boarding school for like an art school. So stuff that you would actually deal with. And there's one guy, he didn't get into like the legacy college he wanted to, and things like that. So it's nice to have a show, and I know it's on Disney, so it's different than if it was like HBO or something like that. But it's nice to have a show where people are going through, like you said, age appropriate situations. They look age appropriate, and it's not just completely unrealistic. Because man, that was a huge problem with shows and uh, things like that. Back in the 2000 teens and before that, where you'd have these just super A-list celebrities playing people who were way younger than what they were, and it just unrealistic, I guess, is the best way to put it there. But yeah, I haven't seen Invincible yet. It's on my list since you recommended it. It was that one, and what was the other one? The Boys.
Yes, you need to watch both of those so we can do a comparison.
Good deal. Which one should I watch first?
If I was going to recommend which one to watch first, I'd watch Invincible first because there's more of The Boys. There's 2 seasons of that and 1 season of Invincible. So I think you could get through Invincible pretty quick, and then I don't know. It kind of I would go with Invincible first and then do The Boys second. I watched them backwards. I watched The Boys when it came out, which was first, and then I watched Invincible. But I don't know.
Folks, there's your recommendation from Hunter. New segment, Hunter Recommends.
Long story short, I was not a fan of Invincible. I see a lot of people singing its praises. I don't get it. I have some pretty harsh critiques about it, and I feel like they're all very valid, and I don't see what people are missing. But anyway, we can cross that bridge when we get to it.
I want to sidebar real quick. My sister just texted me, and this literally 10 minutes ago. And I'm going to read it to you verbatim what she sent me. She said, "There's a brother and sister on American Ninja Warrior, and I said it'll be me and you one day. And Mom said, me and Dad will run the course with you." In what world would I be able to do American Ninja Warrior?
The Make-A-Wish one?
Yeah, if it was Make-A-Wish and go in a straight line, maybe.
Oh, come on. They'd let you win.
Yeah, they would. Hunter, I am 5'10", 220-ish pounds. There is no way that I would be able to finish that course.
Yeah, no. I can't even step down off a curb. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. You walk in a straight line and you fall off and break your leg to a car accident level.
Yeah, literally. I don't know what they're thinking.
Some people are built for that. Some people are that 5'7", 160 pounds, and they don't have enough weight to pull them down, and they've got just that slim figure where they can't, they have good muscle definition. Those are the people that are made for American Ninja Warrior. Go ahead and show me a ninja movie at all that has someone that looks like me as a ninja. I'll wait because they don't
find it.
You know who can't jump off of a roof and come down and fight somebody with a sword? Me. I'm somebody who can't do that. So she's ridiculous. And there's no way any of my family would be able to do that. My mom would have the best chance, but she almost broke her ankle hiking, and she dealt with that for like a year and a half. So there's no way we could do that.
It's just wishful thinking.
I replied back to her. I said, "Y'all are funny." She said, "Nope, we're going to do it." We wouldn't even get past the audition phase. They look at us and be like,
"Are you in the wrong room?
Are y'all looking for the competitive eating competition? Because that's over there." That'd be more my style. Like, give me a bunch of chicken wings and let me see how many of those I can put away. That's more of my style.
I'll do that, no problem.
I do that every time I go out to a wing place, man. I shut them down, but Kylie. All right, back to TV shows. So I've been watching Gossip Girl, rewatching that one. High School Musical, the series, Disney Plus. I got another one. I found the box at McKay's.
I love McKay's.
One I haven't watched that we bought is Oz. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
So it's still in the box. We've had it for so long. We need to watch it. But the gist of it is I believe it's based off of like the Wizard of Oz, but it's a prison.
That's
Weird
weird.
concept. I know. I'll have to delve into that one whenever we get through it. That's the box list. But one I did rewatch that was so good and it aged so well was Alias
I don't
with
think I've seen
Jennifer
that one
Garner.
either.
Oh, Hunter. Jennifer Garner was my celebrity crush growing up. I don't know. She was the one for me. But watching that show and all the she's basically like she thought at first she was recruited by the FBI and they were like a black site unit, did all the shady stuff that the official FBI couldn't. But it turns out she had been recruited into uh, this rogue agent organization that they had all the makings and it seemed like it was FBI, but it was really they were the bad guys. So she felt that, and then she found out years later and went and tried to turn them all in. And she had to be a double agent. There was already another double agent who was her dad. So much
Just
action
goes
and
so
stuff in
deep.
there. Yeah, dude, you should watch it. I would get like Alias, definitely one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. We bought every season of it, and dude, we binged that show. The problem is that it was out whenever the box set DVDs were a big thing. So the box sets are literally like the size of a Harry Potter book, and there's you have to keep switching discs. They're all on
Oh Lord.
DVDs. Yeah, yeah, it's a little pain in that sense, but the show excellent. It aged really really well, and if you're into that agent and government type stuff, you will love that series. I like a bunch of different stuff, so I'll watch about whatever. But if that's your thing, you like those shows. Uh, if you liked The Blacklist, kind of a more recent one, then you will love Alias.
Hmm.
Very, very good. You should watch it. I got them all.
Just drop them off on my doorstep.
I'll mail them to you. Oh, what else you got? Any other shows or anything you're watching?
um, nothing major. This will kind of segue into what we were talking about in the pre-show, though. I've been kind of on a spooky kick. Like I'm watching a lot of like paranormal investigation stuff on YouTube, and I know most of it's fake. like, like I know that you can't go in with an iPhone app and and do what some of these people claim that they're doing.
You won't
I
believe what
don't.
happened at 3 a.m.
I don't want to knock them because they put on a good show and it's entertaining, but I don't know. I get in a spooky mood every now and then, and I'm like, I know this is not real, but I want to watch it because it's spoopy, and so I've kind of been
Yeah.
on a kick about that recently.
Both talking about some movies that we watched recently, and uh, I just recently watched the new Conjuring movie. Man,
I want to see it.
it is so good. So so good. And they do it so well where yes, there are jump scares just because that's the style of movie that it is. But it's not like a movie that it's every 3 minutes there's a jump scare, something that it's just not fun to watch. And they do it so good in it where it's like a spot where there's about to be one and then there won't be and then it's delayed and something happens and then it makes you jump like and
Oh man.
this is going to sound a little conceited or whatever here, but I don't get scared. Like having that thrill, that rush is just something that I enjoy. That's just not a feeling that I get. So I love those types of movies that make you jump and hop and whatever. Such a good movie. And this one's one where the story is really good. It's easy to follow. But yeah, you'll be watching it and then you'll be like, I know it's coming. It should have been right there. And then a dude comes out of like the hallway. It's
Ah,
so good. Yeah, and it's one of those where right before you figure out what like you figure the story out, which happens really late in the movie. So it's one of those where it keeps you engaged. You're like, ah, yes, I knew it, even though you didn't really know it.
Those
Yeah,
movies are
it's
great.
oh, I know. It, if you're into those scary movies, the Conjuring movies are so good, and the spin-offs of those. There was the Nun, I think, was one, and
Mhm.
Annabelle. All those. They're all spin-offs of the same story from the Warrens. Is that the name? The Warrens?
Yeah, Ed and
Yeah,
Lorraine Warren.
yeah. Um, the people that they have playing the Warrens, they do so well in it. Uh,
Yeah.
I would 100% recommend you see it. And the great thing is that movie theaters are back open now, friends. So go out and watch it on a 60-foot screen and enjoy it the way movies were meant to be enjoyed. I was so afraid that last year the movie theater business was going to be done. Like I was honestly afraid of that because I'm someone who, and I know it's expensive. You're paying way too much for tickets. You're paying way too much for popcorn, too much for everything. But I just love the atmosphere of a movie theater. It's just one of my favorite things to do. Man, you got to go see it in theaters if you get the chance. 10 out of 10, worth it. It is so, so, so good. So good.
I went and saw A Quiet Place Part 2 in the theaters recently.
Want to see it so
Um,
bad.
it was very good. I really liked the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I own it because it's so good. And when they announced that the second one was coming out in theaters, we both kind of looked at each other and were like, we have to go see this in the theater. And so we went, and we went to one of the fancy ones that's got the reclining seats. I've never been to one of
Yep.
those before, but boy,
It's
it was
nice, isn't
nice.
it?
Oh my gosh, it was great. Um, and so we watched A Quiet Place Part 2, and I don't know how they did it, but I feel like it lived up to, if not perhaps surpassed, the first one.
Wow.
And the way they told the story was really, really great. And it did not feel like a retread at all. It felt like it had something new to add to the, because at the end, I don't want to spoil, but at the end of the first one, like they could have ended it there and just not made another one. They didn't
And it would have
have to
been
make a
just
second one.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's actually, I'm not just pulling that out of thin air. John Krasinski himself said, "I didn't want to do a sequel because I thought that we should just leave well enough alone." And then one of the producers or somebody, suggested, "What if we did this, 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 and this?" And then John was like, "Okay, I'm gonna start writing the script because this has my attention." And then he let Emily read the opening scene, and she said she'd do it. And so, the idea was good enough for both of them, who were the creative forces behind it, saying,
Yep.
I think we're good with just the one, to start on the new one. And I don't know how they did it, but like it's kind of like what you said with The Conjuring, where you expect something to happen, they linger it out a little bit. I felt as though, because there are some jump scares. Like if you've seen the first one, you can kind of know what to expect in terms
Yeah.
of like how you're going to be scared. But the thing for me wasn't so much the jump scares that made it thrilling. It was the constant state of tension.
Yep.
Like you are just constantly on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going to happen. And at one point in the movie, there are three separate things happening all at the same time. And you're just like, oh, whoa. Like there's so much happening. And I don't know. It was just a really, really great experience. And I think they did such a good job. And it ended really well. And I liked the whole the whole thing. There wasn't a part of it that I was like, oh.
I'm with you, man. I love the first one, and I completely understand what you mean with that constant state of tension, like something is bound to happen just because of the scene that's been set. And I think that when a movie can can do that, is able to do that, I think that it just adds a whole different atmosphere to that horror genre. Because the old movies, the old slashers and things like that, it was all about, it's going to be gory and a bunch of people are going to die. And then became the era of jump scares, where you're just waiting for something to make you throw your popcorn up in the air.
Yeah.
But I think we've kind of moved into that style now, where it's like something should happen, and I'm expecting it to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. It's one of those. See, I know it. A lot of people didn't like it, but that's one thing I liked about that movie, Bird Box.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was Sandra Bullock on Netflix. It's a couple years old now, I believe, but uh, that was one where you could see what was happening to the people, and it's been out long enough where it's not really going to be a spoiler for, but it shouldn't be a spoiler for people. But basically, if you looked at this thing, it made you essentially just go insane. Like it made people kill themselves when they saw this thing, but it never showed it. It never showed people what it was, but it would like talk to people and it'd tell them to take their blindfolds off and it'd tell them to look at it and things like that. So you were just in that constant state of like, am I about to see it now? Am I going to see
Yeah.
what's been causing all this? And uh, I'm here for those types of movies, like jump scares. Sometimes I want to have one of those movies where it literally just makes me jump. But sometimes that just state of something's supposed to be happening right now. Why hasn't it happened yet? And then it just keeps you, your shoulders drawn up and things like that.
Yeah.
Love them. So it's definitely going to be the next movie that I see. I'm gonna try to get it in theaters because
Yeah. There
I
you
love
go.
the first one. It was so good. And movies now that are able to, like that one, there's almost no dialogue in the first one. There was almost no dialogue in the entire movie,
Yeah.
which was incredible.
And I'm
So
glad you brought that up. And this isn't a spoiler because it's in every trailer. Like
yeah,
if you've
yeah,
seen the trailer, you've seen that there's a portion of the movie. It actually opens on the first day that the aliens arrive, and so the entire opening of the movie is just like a normal day. But because you're so invested in this world and you know what's coming, every little noise and every little thing, you're just like
oh no,
stop it.
oh no,
So it's beautifully done. It's beautifully done, and there are no jump scares in that opening scene that I would call a jump scare. Like there's some loud noises that will startle you, but it's not like boo,
yeah,
But it's like everyday life, stuff like that happens all the time. But because you know the story and you know what's about to happen, you're like, whoa, guys, everybody shut up. So it's good. It's really good.
yeah. The first one was just absolutely excellent in every way, shape, or form. I don't know how, if you're a fan of those horror movies or thriller movies, you'll love the first one if you haven't seen it. Uh, the second one is definitely on my list just because John Krasinski, he just did so well with that first one. And uh, the acting in it, like I said, there's no dialogue, but you can feel like the emotion in the entire movie and like
Yep.
the things that they have to go through. So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely one to go see as soon as you can, I'm sure. You seen anything else recently?
Movie wise, no. That's the only that's the last time I've been. The last time I had been to a theater before Quiet Place 2 was, what did we go see? We went and saw The Rise of Skywalker in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last movie I saw before Quiet Place. So I'm not a huge theater goer. I did, like when Movie Pass had started, I had Movie Pass, and so I would go
Yeah.
on like a Wednesday at noon, when it was the lowest volume time and I didn't have class. I used to go, and then Movie Pass literally crapped the bed, and so I got while the getting was good and canceled.
Boy, did you ever.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with the original movie pass idea, but it was so dumb on on the theater's part
Yeah.
because you could literally see like a movie every day or something crazy like that,
they
and it was
they were count they were counting on it being like a gym membership where you pay for it but you don't use it. That's what they were counting on. But the difference is people have to go to the gym and work, but it doesn't take a lot to go to a movie theater and sit, you know?
and eat a bunch of
So
popcorn.
yeah, so people were already like, I don't know. It was a great idea, and I'm glad I got to ride the like I got 2 or 3 good months out of it, and I got to ride it for a while as it kind of crashed down. But yeah,
Boy, you
I
milked
was
that one, didn't you?
shoot, yeah. I started right when they started restricting you because I remember it started out, they were like, oh, well, now we're going to limit how many movies you can see a week. And so people were mad at that. They're like, oh, what? You said it was unlimited movies. You know, I'm paying for unlimited movies, and now you're telling me I can only do 2 or 3 a week. And then it was like, well, non-peak show times. We're gonna do non-peak show times where other people, you know, basically if we can't sell the tickets, you'll be able to go at this time slot on a Tuesday at 3.
Yeah.
And then it was some movies just will never be eligible. I think the new Mission Impossible was coming out, and there was absolutely no way to see that movie through Movie Pass without paying like a premium fee. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
weird. It was like you're paying for the subscription, but then if you want to see Mission Impossible, you also have to pay more. I don't know. It was just really dumb, and you could tell that they were grasping for straws, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And as soon as they started limiting things, the whole appeal of the concept just was not there anymore. You can't advertise unlimited movies for a fee and then start limiting it. Like you know,
Unlimited movies, except
except they're limited.
yeah, it was. I got a couple weeks out of it because I was the same way. I signed up for I believe a month of it whenever you had told me about it, but it was at that same point where they were like, "No, you can't see certain movies and things like that," and I canceled it right
Yeah.
after that first time I paid for it. It wasn't worth it at that point, but dude, they were going bankrupt. Man,
Yeah.
everybody was just riding that wave while it was rolling, man.
I remember when I canceled it, it's the app said, "Are you sure you wish to cancel? You won't be able to sign up for our services again until 9 months from your cancellation date." And I remember thinking, I don't think you're going to be here in 9 months, but if you
Yeah,
are, it means you figured something out and I'll be back. But
yeah,
9 months later, I'm fairly certain they are just gone.
yeah, yeah. At this point, I use my Stubbs membership or whatever it's called, and just get some
Yeah.
points for my popcorn and my drink and whatnot, and roll with that. But yeah, man, I'm a movie goer. I absolutely love going to the theater, and I know it's not everybody's forte, and I get it if you have kids or a family, like it can get really expensive, but it's never bothered me to go to a movie by myself. I've done it dozens of times, just because that I love the theater. But yeah, I could see why it would be a pain if you had kids. Because I hate when I go to a theater and somebody screams the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, uh, and what you don't want to be hateful about it because you're like, I know that you are probably over it and you want to have a nice night out. And you think at least I can go tune my kid out and watch a movie.
Sure.
But it's just a little bit inconsiderate to everyone else. Like, yeah, your kid screams, and I'm really sorry that you have to deal with that. But that's also not my kid. So I don't have to listen. I'm here to pay to watch a movie, not listen to your child scream for an hour and 45 minutes because, you know, I don't want to be insensitive about it, but it's just like, come on. My
Yeah.
cousins, they had they had they had their kid, and they would go to the movies all the time, and they'd either get a babysitter or let grandma watch them. Like it's not hard to get that figured out. you know,
Yeah, we know how you feel about kids, Hunter.
sorry, I'm jaded. It's bad. I taught 7 years of swimming lessons, and at that time I was like, kids aren't that bad. But then after 7 years of that, it just sunk in, and I'm just like, you know what?
Kids are indeed that bad.
Kids are indeed that bad. And then they're damaging my stuff, and I'm just like, you know what?
Stupid scooters.
Yeah. And here's the kicker, and I don't want to be, I don't want to knock. It's not really the kids so much as it is the parents, and I think that's the thing that bothers me the most is if I was to have a child, I would have an insanely high expectation for them and how they would interact with the world around them.
Sure.
And no one else would live up to no other parent would live up to that expectation for me. And it would make me mad. And I just know that's unhealthy. And so, I have this weird thing where I want to be responsible and I want to be like considerate to others. But if you don't do it back, it kind of tees me up a little bit. But what? Dang it! I was leading into something. I don't know. I was leading into something good, and I kind of lost it a little bit. What was I gonna say? Dadgummit.
Well, folks, now you know. Don't let Hunter babysit your kids.
I mean, I'm okay to hang out with kids as long as I give them back at the end of the night.
Yeah. I've always said being an uncle must be the best thing ever.
So I'm trying to think. We were talking about. You said I hate kids. That's what, I mean, yeah, in more or less words, you did say that, which is fine. I have high expectations.
Use your words.
Maybe that was it. I don't know. Here in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be like, I remember.
Anyway, coming full circle, everybody, go enjoy movies because
without your kids,
there's a lot of good movies, and I believe it was today actually that the new Fast and Furious movie came out. I know they're not for everybody. They're not everybody cares about it, and they went away really from being like movies about cars and whatnot. But I like them. They're action packed, so that's another good one. In the coming months, there's several good ones. If you're near one of the newer types of theaters, a lot of them have the little kiosks outside where you can buy your tickets and it'll tell you upcoming movies. There's some good ones coming out, but round trip, man, I am so glad that theaters are back open. I missed them greatly, and I look forward to giving them way more money than they deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure my plans will change whenever Caroline and I decide to have kids because, like you said, it's expensive. But I'm here for it now, man. I'm going to ride this one while I can.
There you go.
I mean, honestly, in my hometown, there's really nothing else to do. And the two closest towns to me, they both have theaters. One of them is really, really nice, and the other one's okay. It's clean, which is really what I care about. I can't stand when you go into a theater and like you walk and it sounds like you're walking on duct tape. The floor's so sticky. See, the one in the closest town to me, that theater actually closed, and it really stings because that one was a 20-minute drive for me. But apparently, it's getting bought out by another theater company that's kind of like a minor player in the theater industry. So I'm looking forward to that one opening back up. I'm hoping that they throw in some of those recliner seats because,
that'd be nice.
Oh man, if you've never been to one where they recline, go to one where they do that. If you're anywhere in East Tennessee, and I can't say for any of the other states, but in Knoxville, in the Westtown Mall, it's called Cinnabar, and you go in there, and if you're trying to plan a date or something like that, if you've never been to it, that one place can be your entire date because you buy the tickets, but when you go in, they have a full menu. Like whenever I go, I always get a pizza to eat,
Oh,
and
there
they
you
have
go.
like, yeah, dude, they have wings, pretzels, pizzas. They have all sorts of stuff you can eat there. Movie theater prices, of course, but then you get that. They have an endless popcorn bucket. You pull your little table over, recline your seat back, and it is just incredible. And I don't know how that didn't become a thing years ago because being able to lay down in public should never happen, but that's the one place it's acceptable.
Well, the lights are
and
down. You can't really see everybody in their shame.
eh, yeah, you can, but uh, it's great. Reclining seats are the future. Uh, it just motivated me more to get me a recliner for my office here because I'm all about having recliner chairs there. But
With this leg, man, do you know how much I would have loved a recliner at work? Oh my gosh.
uh, I think that with your injury, you could have probably swung that some way with s- some kind of disability claim because you were pretty badly injured, so you probably could have got you something like that.
Yeah, and then I could have just been like, you know what, I don't want to move it out, and then I just would have been comfortable for the rest of my life.
I know, man, dude, you missed it. That you
I
had the
did.
golden
I
ticket,
could have had a handicap sticker, and I didn't do that.
dude. Why
And
didn't you get a handicap
I
tag,
didn't realize that I had the ability to do it, and I was kind of like, you know what, I think I'll be okay. But
dude? Because the great thing about those is that a lot of times they don't even keep up with it. Like I know people who have had them for years. They don't need them
oh,
anymore.
I couldn't do that. I'd feel so bad. I'd also feel like a hypocrite because uh, I have seen people when I was on my scooter, it was really bad and really noticeable because I was having to use all the access ramps. It
Yeah,
wasn't like I was just able to walk around. I guess this happens all the time, and I just walk around it because But when you have to go up the access ramps, there is a large amount of people who will park their stupid cars, like at the Walmart. They'll park their stupid cars right in front of the ramp to let
uh,
Grandma Ethel out because she's a little lazy and doesn't want to walk a little bit. And I have to stand there with my broken, shattered leg while Ethel waddles herself into the Walmart. Like, just makes me so mad. I'm not saying that you can't, if somebody needs to be dropped off up front, that's fine. But I'm talking these people popping in park, put the cautions on, get out, that do a weird rain dance in front of the car. I don't know. It's weird.
I know what you mean, man. They sit there, and the worst is even whenever people like they'll drop somebody off and they just sit there and wait for them.
It makes me so mad. Get out of the
Oh,
way.
get out of the way. Oh, I'm not even on a scooter, and that aggravates me. Like I
Oh,
shouldn't
it's
have to.
bad.
And for some reason, the people that do this, they don't drive a Nissan Versa. They
No, they
drive,
have a daggum bus.
yeah, they have like a Ford Expedition or something like that. And there's
It's always a bus.
there's two old people in it, and that's it. Like, why do you need a vehicle that can haul 13 people?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, and they sit right there. That would have been perfect if you had got your horn put on your scooter.
I think I did. I should have just used the siren.
Dude, just sit there and just blast it until they move.
Just makes me so mad. I'm like,
Just
I try
dude, and
really
they
hard. Like, I'm the type of person, it's bad. I'm the type of person, I'm on a knee scooter and I'm struggling to get around Kroger. And if I like accidentally almost get close to somebody, I'm like, oh, sorry. And I've had it happen. They're like, oh my gosh, no, you're fine. But I'm always like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be in the way, and then there's these people who are just like, ah,
oh, and then those old people too, whenever they go into the store like that, they'll find somebody to talk to, which is fine. You can talk to people you see, but they stand right in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
Aisles are designed where two buggies can comfortably pass each other, but not when you stand diagonal between them with another person.
Right.
Oh, oh, that grinds my gears. When I
Mhm.
have to turn around and go down all the way back and down another aisle and come back up the other side just to get something off a shelf.
Yep.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yep. We went in
Oh, it grinds
Sam's.
my
We went in
gears.
Sam's tonight. We had to buy some paper towels and a new tower fan. That was all we needed. Two things. And literally, this old woman was just walking right down the middle of the aisle, and she always these people have their phone out and on speaker. And she's out there. She's like, and then the person on the phone is, and she's walking right down the aisle, and I'm sitting here in pain. You
Oh,
know, I'm using the buggy to support myself. I'm walking, but I'm using the buggy to support myself. And now I have to grapple with
yes.
her like it's an obstacle course. And then we ran into her again, and she's doing the same thing.
Dude, so you basically did American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, tonight I did.
Dude,
I had my crutch in the buggy. I should have just gotten it and beaten her with it.
just start pushing her buggy out of the way.
Yeah, just like jousting, just.
See, my problem, and it always happens to me. I might have mentioned this before, but one, yes, I will always have to go down the aisle where there's going to be people standing right in it, and they see you standing there waiting. See, I'm at the point now where I don't even care. I just stare right at people until they move if they're in the way. Like if you're to the side, I'll work my buggy around you or I'll leave it behind you. I'll go get my stuff.
Yeah.
But man, when you're in the middle, I'll stare right at you until you move. And then I'll go up to the register. And I know everybody has different opinions on like self checkout. I do my best to always use a self checkout because it
Yep.
never fails that anytime I have a large buggy load of stuff and I choose to go down a normal aisle for a cashier to take care of me, uh, I always get behind the old people that are complaining about every single item, and then their card doesn't work,
Yep.
and then this, and then that. And
Mhm.
before you know it, I could have literally made 3 trips to my car from just doing self checkout and been out of there. It wears me out. And that's why I absolutely despise going down a normal aisle because
I
old people just ruin it.
I try so hard to be patient, but
Me
there's
too.
been this awful trend. We don't usually buy a lot, you know. We don't go and bulk up on a lot of groceries. We'll go to the store, get what we need, and we come home. You know, we don't buy like, oh, we need uh 6 things of cereal for this month. You know, like we
Yeah.
don't do that. We just buy what we need and we get out of there, which usually isn't much. But like I've witnessed it happen at the self checkout at Walmart. And you know what? There's kind of this unspoken rule that the self checkout is supposed to be pretty quick. You know, you don't go through there with a large quantity of items unless you really know what you're doing and you can do it quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of
Treat it like the speedy checkout,
it's
you know.
the unofficial express lane.
Yeah.
I've witnessed on more than one occasion people with count them, 2 buggies full of
Oh
stuff,
no.
and they go in and they're standing there at the self checkout. And not only are they standing there at the self checkout, but they're blocking everyone else from being able to get in because they've got their 2 stupid buggies everywhere. And it's
I can
always
feel my blood
like
pressure rising.
it's always like boop boop. I'm like, speed it up. Boop, 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 boop. That's all it takes. You know, the scanner does not need to wait. You can just run that stuff across there.
Oh. And then it's always they got to yell at somebody that's with them, or they get a phone call on
Yeah.
there.
Or we have to call the attendant over.
Oh, like it embarrasses me whenever I'm going through there, and if like I accidentally grab a box where the barcode's messed up, or if it's, sometimes I'll go to the store and I'll buy a knife, something like that, or whatever, something where it's in a box and they have to open it so people don't steal it. I absolutely hate being the person that holds up a line for that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't understand how people just go through that and just take up all that time and all that space, like you said, with two buggies full. And I'm a person that, like I said, if my buggy's fairly large, and especially if it's crowded, if there's not a lot of people, I'm pretty quick on the self checkout. But I'll go down an aisle because I know there's a guy back here who's holding stuff for dinner. That's all he's got.
Yeah.
He's who's meant to go down the self checkout, not me with $150 worth of stuff in the cart. But dude, yeah, people going down it and they take 5 ever to get done, and boop,
makes me so angry.
boop.
Yep. I mean, there's
Uh,
truth to that. That's how slow they do it. And you're just like, I'm gonna be here for hours. And like I've heard some people say, oh, that stuff is harder on older people, and some of these middle-aged moms, are they're dealing with their kid, or they've got a lot going on. Well, you know what? There's this nifty concept where you go and someone else does it for you. You put all of it on a
yes.
magic belt, and the magic belt moves to this person who is a world record holder for how quickly they can scan something and push it off to the side. And then they got a guy who's competition bagging all your stuff. You know what? That exists, and it's been around for a long time. And I don't know why these people who have two buggies full and a screaming kid and a ton of stuff, like, just go through the line. Just go through the line, and it'll be easier on you and me, but you.
And you know what else? Everybody now has a smartphone. Dude, just buy the stuff on the app and have someone come, and they even load it
Literally.
into your vehicle. You don't
Yeah.
even have to go into the store. You pull into a lane, you call a number, say, "Hey, I'm in number 3. My name is blah blah blah," and they come and put it into your car.
I was such an early adopter of the app checkout stuff. Sam's does
Oh
it
yeah.
where you scan as you go on your phone, and then you just check out, and it gives you a barcode or a QR code, and you show that QR code to the guy at the door, and he scans it as if he'd scan your receipt.
Yeah.
I did that as soon as they introduced it. I started doing it because I absolutely hated the concept of standing in line. And it was so early, and it was such a new thing that I got stared at a bunch, where people were like, is that guy just like running off with all this stuff? It was like, it happened on more than one occasion, and I love it. It's great.
Especially at Sam's, where I mean, like, that's a place where people go to bulk up and business stuff and whatnot. But yeah, dude, having somewhere like that where even if that's just where you get your normal groceries from, man, having that where you just scan it as you go, pay for it in the app, and then have the 85-year-old doorman scan your barcode, perfect, perfect.
Yep. It's so easy.
And I know that everybody's gonna make a deal about it in the future, but dude, you best believe that whenever the Amazon delivery happens, where they bring it with a dadgum drone and drop your groceries off at your door, get out of here. I will never have to leave my house to go to the grocery store again.
Yep.
Go ahead and sell my email. That's perfectly fine. If you have a drone that brings me my groceries, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with putting some stuff into the spam folder.
Yeah.
NBD.
I prefer the delivery stuff is great. Like, the food delivery has been wonderful with my leg. It's been very helpful, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
But I much prefer the curbside pickup methodology. Like we did Chick-fil-A tonight. I placed the order as we were driving there. We pull in, We type in what number spot we're in. They bring it to me. No muss, no fuss. And if we can do that with groceries, not many places around here offer that, but Publix is going to start doing it soon. That's perfect for me. I'll place an order and then I'll come sit. You can bring it out to my car. Heck, I'll even put it in the trunk if you really want me to. But if you want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just
it's so nice.
Maybe I'm just antisocial. Maybe that's what it is. But my patience for little inconveniences, I think I've said this before on the podcast. My patience for minor inconveniences has drastically decreased in the last few years. And I'm not quite sure what did it. And I think we decided it was school that did it. But
Yep.
But my patience for things like that, just, somebody in traffic cuts you off. They always jump out in front of you it's like they're Mario Andretti starting off a NASCAR race, jerking out in front of you, and then they go 5 miles under the speed limit the entire time.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
And I'm just like, I if I could Thanos snap you, I would do it.
I saw a fake Facebook post yesterday or day before last. It said, "Listen, I need you to drive with the same energy that you just pulled out in front of me with."
Yeah, literally. And it's
I can tell you when that moment started for me, where my patience for little inconveniences. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was junior year.
It was yesterday.
No, it's been there for a while, my friend. Junior year of college, first semester. It's cold. It's gross outside. I've been in the library all day. I'm with some buddies. We're trying to do a online test and turn it in. It's literally like Dead Week, which Dead Week really wasn't a real thing. It was just
no, didn't exist.
It was just finals week part 1.
Yeah.
So we're in there trying to do this, and the internet on the campus goes out. We've been in there for hours.
Never happened.
Okay. We've been in there for hours working on projects. Engineering school, you usually, once you find your group, you all go through the same classes. Everybody has to do the same thing. But we've worked on several things. It's dark. It's gross. It's cold. And we're all just ready to go home. Internet goes out, and you hear an audible what just happened throughout the entire library. Every person it happened to. Then I look at my phone, and I have an email that said, "Attention students, the campus is experiencing a campus-wide internet outage. We are working as fast as possible to get this corrected." And we sat there in the library. This was probably 8:30. We sat there in the library until 10:50 or 11. And most stuff's due at 11:59.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting, because there's nothing else we could do. We just had to wait for it to come back up. And from that point on, my patience for that stuff and just those little inconveniences, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm just some Scrooge. I'm not. It's usually just the little things that just make me upset sometimes. Not like road rage, or not like I'm going to punch somebody, but it makes me huff and puff. I sound like the big bad wolf. But that was the time that really did it for me. Having to sit there on a campus where stuff is due, because this was Dead Week when we're not supposed to have anything, and yet we did. And the internet was just gone. It said, LOL, no.
For those of you that don't know what the concept of Dead Week is, it's the week before finals, and you're supposed to not have class. It's supposed to be a week that you can dedicate solely to preparing for and studying for your finals, which will come the following week. However, I always had my professors never canceled class. They're like, no, You're gonna be here. Still have stuff to go over. Like we're gonna teach during dead week, and then you're also trying to study, and you're also trying to finish your classes. And so dead week was always a misnomer to me. It was never dead. It was always very much alive.
Yeah, it was supersized week.
It was I'm going to pull my hair out or give myself alcohol poisoning week. It was one of the two.
Oh man, it was the worst. And so many professors were like, I'm going to do you all a favor. We're just going to have our final during dead week, so you don't even have to worry about coming next week. But then next week, I'd have a final on Thursday, the very last day of finals week. So it's like, this literally did nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna do you. What that really means, I'm gonna do you a favor, and we can take finals during dead week. Is I want to be out of here a week early, so screw you guys.
Uh,
it's really what
yeah,
it is.
I'm going to do me a favor, guys. And
Yeah.
it was, I'm getting heated just thinking about it, man. I think that in all the time I was in college, I had maybe one semester where I didn't have a final on the Thursday of finals week, which is the last day of anything ever. Like, I'm like, why do you do that? It's like I'm a junior or a senior in college. Why in the world are you making me stay here till the last day at 4 o'clock? Like,
I don't want
why?
that.
Why would you not put all the upperclassmen at the front? I mean, we had to go, as freshmen, we had to go through the 8 a.m. classes anyway, because that's just what freshmen have to do. So why would you not just go ahead and give them the end of finals week too?
I got frustrated at that, but I guess I got jaded to the point where I actually started to enjoy having the finals on the later days, like the Wednesday and Thursday of finals week, because most everybody would be gone, and I could walk across campus and not see people. And that was really at the end of, because I was working for the university for those last 2 years and doing school. And the funny part is, and it's pretty common, like the campus is great when the students aren't there. So yeah, I ended up being like, you know what? I'm not happy that I have to do all my finals up till the last day, but the bright side is I can now walk across campus and not see 15 million dumb people. I can just, it's quiet. I can walk in peace.
And then you get into your final and you forget everything you had studied.
No, well, yeah, but that was a different issue.
Oh, Hunter, you got anything planned this weekend?
We're going to visit some friends and do some game night.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
What are you playing? Got anything picked out yet?
There's some kind of movie trivia game that I'm looking forward to dominating.
I'd like you to send me the score to that because I'm guessing it won't even be close.
I'm going to knock it out of the park. And then Bree is excited because there's a music trivia game and she's going to dominate on that one. So
y'all should bet some money on this.
Oh, I don't know. That's kind of like robbery.
That's just taking candy from a baby.
I don't know if I could do that to these poor people.
I'm thinking about going camping this weekend.
Ooh, camping.
Yep. Caroline's got some stuff to do for her friend's wedding, so I am gonna be here by myself. So I'm gonna try to find me a little spot where I can sleep in my hammock for 2 or 3 nights, and
that'll be fun.
And where I can just fish all day.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'll pack up the Yeti and hopefully won't need all the food that I bring because hopefully I'll catch some fish and that'll be my life for hopefully that'll be my life for about 50 hours of the weekend.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, man. Hopefully. No, what'll happen is it'll get to it'll get to Thursday, and then the weather's going to be like, oh no, we've just found a storm coming through. We didn't
Hot and
see it this
humid.
past week. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be 85, 127% humidity, and it's going to rain all weekend. That's probably what's going to happen, but
Oh, geez.
uh, that's
Well,
my
you can do
plan
camping
for it.
inside. Just sling your hammock up inside and put on some cricket noises, and you'll be fine.
No, if I'm here, I'm going to sleep in my bed.
Oh, well, okay. I was just trying to help.
I'll go out on the porch and camp out on the porch.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'll build a fire on the porch and I'll, I'll shoot a bird out of the tree, eat it. Oh. Well, man, I hope you have a good weekend coming up here.
Excuse me. Yeah, you too.
Yeah, man. You want to pull up the anchor list, see if you got anybody new on there?
Yeah, let me get it up here.
And again, son babies, we thank you for listening.
We
uh,
we love the sun babies.
no matter how scary you are.
Oh boy. All right. Tennessee, Washington, Massachusetts, Texas, Georgia, New Jersey, D.C., North Carolina, Alabama, Arizona, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania.
Florida's new, isn't it?
Florida's definitely new.
How about that, man? Look at us.
We're doing so good.
Dude, what if we get all 50 states?
I would see that as a major win.
How cool would that be? People are listening to our podcast literally thousands of miles away from where we're at.
Super neat.
That's incredible. Thank you all for listening so much.
Thank you. I knew I was loud, but I didn't think it was that loud. People hearing me all the way over there.
Friends, I thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We were looking, and kind of last week we had to put the audio out on Wednesday, our normal day, and then we put our video out later on. So that might be something that we do going forward. Just be a little easier on getting everything put up for us, but
it's a time consuming. The kicker is I export this in two formats, in an audio only format and then an MP4 that's compatible and optimized for YouTube. And the audio format exports very quickly. The YouTube format takes anywhere safely 2 hours and up to export. And so that is just a really time consuming process to try to do that. And then so it exports in about 2 hours and then it uploads in about 2 hours. So that's 4 hours that I'm having to babysit the computer. And it's just, it's just making sure that all that goes up. But I don't have any problems with the audio. I can get that up, no issue. It's just so time consuming. If I'm sitting there, usually it's like 2 or 3 in the morning by the time I'm able to kind of feel safe about leaving the computer to where it'll finish uploading. And so I'm like, oh, so
yeah, so that'll probably be something we'll look at going forward. I don't even know how much interest our YouTube has right now anyway, because of since we're audio only. I'm sure the podcasting platforms get the lion's share of all of our stuff. But if you can, go check out the YouTube page. Leave us some comments on there. That's probably one of the easier ways to tell us how you're liking the podcast and things. Go check out the Twitter page at the Sun Pod.
Yeah.
And converse with us. We've not had a lot of conversation on there, and I'm gonna really try going forward, put a little more effort into that, because I'd like to hear what people think about it, what you'd like to hear about, what you enjoyed, and things like that. So go follow that. Obviously, we're on just about every streaming platform that you can think of right now. So if you're on there, keep listening, please. And if you're able to, give us a like anywhere you can, or share it with your friends and family. We'd love to broaden our listening audience and
Absolutely.
Yeah, shirts are coming, folks. This weekend, while if I don't get it sooner, while I'm sitting out in the woods or wherever I'm at, I'm gonna try to get that taken care of if it's not done sooner. So, uh, merch is coming, folks. Hope you like it all, and we'll get some designs finalized coming up soon, and that'll be available for you. Hunter, you got anything else?
No, nothing jumps out at me.
Well, again, everybody, thank you for listening. Sun babies are the best. I don't know what fandom would be better than a giant immortal sun baby.
Yep.
Hunter, my friend, it's been good talking to you.
Good talking to you.
Everybody, thank you for all for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.